What's fascinating here is how the creator is taking this 500-year-old political philosophy and using it as a diagnostic tool for modern life.
Right, and our mission today is to walk you through the 7 specific mental shifts that are outlined in that source material.
Yep.
According to this framework, if you adopt these 7 shifts, you strip away your naivety, you stop being a passive observer, and you become what they term dangerously smart.
Which, just to clarify, in this context doesn't mean becoming some sort of like cartoon villain.
Right.
It means becoming immune to manipulation, immune to being controlled, and finally seeing human behavior for what it actually is rather than what we, wish it to be.
Yeah, but we should probably establish the ground rules right up front.
Definitely. Because the source material begins with a very stark warning to the viewer.
It really does.
The creator states that once you look at the world through this highly cynical lens, you really cannot unsee it.
No going back.
Right. You can't easily go back to the comforting belief that everyone is fundamentally good or that the world is inherently fair. And they warn that this clarity comes with a heavy cost.
Yeah, it might make you feel incredibly isolated.
Exactly.
You'll feel like you're speaking an entirely different language than the people around you who are still clinging to those comfortable illusions. The warning basically says if you want to stay innocent, you should walk away now.
But we are diving in.
We are. And just to be clear for you listening, we aren't here to endorse this as the one true moral path. We're just exploring it as a tool,
Yeah.
impartially reporting what's in the source.
Right. And it's wild how seamlessly the creator maps Niccolo Machiavelli's deeply ruthless philosophy.
Originally written for Renaissance princes, right?
Exactly. Prince is trying to hold on to power, maps it directly onto our modern, everyday lives.
Office politics.
Yeah, navigating friendships, subtle power dynamics, and daily interactions. It's presented purely as an unvarnished look at reality.
So let's get right into the first shift. It challenges how we process the information people give us.
This is a big one.
The first mental shift is the realization that people do not mean what they say.
Yeah.
The argument here is that words are incredibly cheap. They are a performance. People use language primarily to manage your perception of them or to get what they want in a given moment, or simply to escape immediate friction.
And the source leans on a very specific observation from Machiavelli to explain this.
What does he say?
He wrote, "Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities that he who deceives will always find someone ready to be deceived."
Wow.
Think about what that means in a modern context.
I suppose it's like a vendor promising you a delivery date they know they can't hit, just to get you off the phone.
Exactly.
They're obeying the present necessity of ending an uncomfortable conversation.
Right.
But let me push back on this a little on behalf of our listener. If I just stop believing anything anyone says, don't I just become completely paranoid and impossible to work with?
It's a totally fair question, but the framework would argue that it's not about paranoia. It's about shifting your baseline of evidence.
Okay.
You aren't constantly assuming everyone is a liar. Instead, you are simply giving 0 weight to their words and 100% weight to their actions.
Ah, I see.
When someone promises to change their behavior or swears their loyalty, they might even genuinely mean it in that fleeting emotional moment.
Sure.
But once the necessity of that moment passes, the words evaporate.
So the takeaway for you, listening right now, is to start tracking behavioral patterns rather than collecting promises.
Yeah, track the feet, not the mouth.
Right. If you only believe actions, verbal manipulation simply bounces off you. When a manipulator realizes their elaborate excuses have absolutely no effect on you.
Because you're only watching their actions.
Exactly. They lose all their leverage.
And understanding that words are often just tools for immediate convenience leads very naturally into understanding the deeper motivation behind those actions.
Okay, let's unpack this a little more because that brings us to the second mental shift.
A big one.
The idea that everyone, without a single exception, operates from self-interest.
Yeah.
Now, you might immediately think of the selfless, generous people in your life. You might think of yourself. But this Machiavellian lens argues that at the core of every single decision is a subconscious calculation.
What is in this for me?
Exactly.
It sounds bleak, but the logic is highly consistent. Even acts of extreme generosity have a personal payoff. Maybe that payoff is building a stellar reputation in your community, or avoiding the internal guilt of not helping.
Or just securing that warm psychological reward of viewing yourself as a good person.
Exactly. The core driver is still the self.
It makes me think of the coworker who randomly brings donuts to the IT department on a Tuesday right before asking them to expedite a server upgrade.
Classic.
It looks like generosity, but it's a calculated transaction.
That is a perfect example. And the source uses another Machiavelli quote here. Men never do good unless necessity drives them to it.
Man, he pulls no punches.
He really doesn't. And I want you, the listener, to think about a time in your life when you felt truly betrayed by someone close to you.
Oof, yeah.
Someone who let you down when you needed them most. Through this specific lens, that betrayal wasn't necessarily a malicious, targeted attack against you.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
that person simply ran their internal math, looked at the changing situation, and chose the option that benefited them the most.
So it wasn't about hurting you, it was about serving them.
Right.
And if you view relationships that way, the concept of loyalty completely changes.
It has to.
Loyalty isn't some magical, unbreakable bond. It's an alliance of mutual benefit.
Yeah.
The moment it stops serving one person's self-interest, the loyalty evaporates.
Which is why understanding this acts as an emotional shield.
Because you expect it.
Exactly. If you accept that everyone is running this internal math, you stop being shocked or devastated when people inevitably choose their own survival or advancement over yours. You start anticipating it.